Making new friends as a full-grown woman is so hard. It's so easy for kids. They're like, "Want to be my friend?" Okay. Now, as we get older, we get picky, and so many women are kind of crazy. I have friends, but sometimes I'm not content? I just want to try a new friend out, someone new. We have our regular types of friends, ones we like, ones we settle for, the ones we instantly regret inviting out. Like, I would rather saw my foot off than listen to this woman complain about her husband for one more minute. But I'm now a hostage and can't leave. Not quite like the horror movie hostages, but like an emotional version of that. There are the types of friends we want. The kind we can hold hands with and run through fields of sunflowers with. I mean, I saw it on Instagram. It looked like the perfect best friend scenario. It's on Instagram, so it must be real. So there's the friends we have, the friends we want, but ugh, meeting new people. I don't know. So many unpredictable interactions. And so we end up settling for the friends we have. It's so easy to get stuck in old routines. There's all these people in your life. Maybe you grew up with them since childhood, met them at church or joined a club, met at a party, the gym, yoga class, playgroups, either way. Most likely met your friends not because you like them, but because they were just repeatedly around you. You pass each other frequently because you have the same routine and you settled for them. Ever feel like I could do better and get this motivation to put yourself out there? I'm going to make a new friend. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. I'm going to be positive with daily affirmations so people like me. I'm going to put on pants and leave the house today. Such great intentions. Forget it. I'll make a friend online that I'll never meet, add them to social media, and then forget they exist like the other 300 people I added. I feel like I'm fairly limited to where I can meet new friends. People tell me I can join a new club or start a new hobby. Then $700 later on ski equipment I'll never use again. So it turns out I'm kind of out of shape. If you ever try to make friends at a ski hill, just remember that they are going to want you to go skiing. In the cold, I know, there are people who actually choose to be out in the -20. Talk about crazy. I love when relationships flow naturally and everything just clicks. However, most of the time, I get these strange interactions with people that are very awkward and the conversations feel forced. I try to meet someone new and she keeps asking me so many questions. It feels like I'm being interviewed. Ever have one of those situations where someone asks you a lot of personal questions? Do you have pets? Are you the middle child? Why don't they stop beating around the bush and ask what they really want to know? Are you safe? Do you have any red flags I need to be concerned about? All I can think is, so, did I get the job? Am I hired as your new bestie? But she kept asking me the same questions over and over, so I'm going to assume no. I did not get hired for the new friendship position. She kept asking me questions like, have you had anything to drink tonight? Are you sure? How many fingers am I holding up? Why? Is that a red flag or something? Can I see your license and registration? I can see this relationship is going nowhere. Then there are your casual friends. You maybe do casual activities with, but you don't connect on a deeper level. You just randomly go places. There's this order you call your friends in, the people you like, the ones you don't mind, and the ones you can't stand. Casual friends are somewhere in the middle. Sometimes the friendship feels a little forced. You argue over what day to do things on because you work opposite schedules. It's like a staring contest, and one of you has to cave. No, you call in sick. No, you. Then someone caves, but it's always going to cost you like $200 of income when you call in. And you have to decide, how much do I like this person? Do I like them more or less than I like groceries for my family? I've had one of those friends I instantly regretted hanging out with the second we got together. After some time had passed, I hadn't seen her in so long. I thought, hey, why not? She says, oh my God, it's been so long since I've seen you. I know, I don't know why it's been so long. We should hang out more often. That was a lie. If you didn't catch that, I was lying. Well, we are we all have one of these types of friends. Or maybe it's just me, because apparently I love toxic relationships. The truth is, you don't like them. It's just some time has passed and you forgot that you don't like them. You instantly remembered why you hate them. But now it's too late. You're stuck with them. You decided to go to dinner, but the food is taking extra long and you're stuck listening to her. It's like the worst situation to be in. Well, maybe not the worst, but maybe in the top 10. What's the worst situation you've ever been in? The other type of friend is one that you know you can't hang out with because you have to work tomorrow. Her name probably ends in an A or a Y. She always convinces you that you both won't drink tonight or that you'll be home by a certain hour, then 6 tequila shots later and you're dancing on the tables till 2 a.m. I don't know about you, but I'm impulsive and a bad influence. So when I have a friend who is impulsive and a bad influence too, well, we end up in random places. Soy borracha! And we're going on an adventure. That means soy drunk. It's Spanish for I'm drunk. Anyways, so we all have these people in our social circles, friends we like, and ones we can't get rid of, high maintenance friends, and new friends we meet. I have all of these old friends I can't get rid of. They just happen to be in my social circle. I tried ghosting them, but they're still there. Sometimes I call that friend who is the last person on my list of friends to call, and then I realize I would have had more fun if I went alone, but I'm obviously struggling with boundaries and I'm too insecure to go places alone. If I had a therapist, they would probably say I have codependency issues, but I don't have a therapist because I'm not crazy. Why? Do you have a therapist? Oh my God, this is so awkward. Oh look, there's my leg. What's it doing over there? Seriously though, meeting new people takes so much effort. Like, I have to take all this baggage, pack it away, put pants on, leave the house, and make small talk with strangers. As a mom, I find I have like nothing to talk about. I go up to other women and try to have conversations, and all they talk about is their kid. Little Johnny drank his milk and pooped today. Oh my God, that's fascinating. Tell me more. Then they walk away. I was like really into that conversation. Oh no, don't walk away. It was totally going somewhere. We could have had something special. Maybe run through a field of sunflowers holding hands over this moment we just bonded over. Whispers, I'll miss you. Creepy glare. I'm also broke, and going places and starting new hobbies costs money, so I try to stick to cheaper things like church or nightclubs to meet people. The church girls never want to hang out with me. I sent a message in the ladies' ministry chat group like, sup bitches, it's the weekend. Who wants to eat too much, drink too much, and make some decisions we can regret tomorrow? Then no one replied, but I can see the little icon, so I know they saw it all. They probably have like a side chat group going titled, Let's Pray for This Bish. So yeah, bars are a great place to meet new people. You never meet any weirdos there. Am I right? No one there is in therapy, so you know they aren't crazy, because if they were crazy, they'd be in therapy, not at a bar. I've made a friend at a bar once. She seemed cool. She was down to hang out the next day. I picked her up for coffee. Then she takes me to this place that she wanted to go to. It was NA. There was free coffee and donuts, so I can't complain. But I didn't really plan on spending my Saturday at NA. I'm not always the brightest. I get duped into these situations. Like, damn it, I feel so used. Not again. Maybe if I hadn't used up all my brain cells at the bar last night, I would have seen this coming. She didn't want to be my friend. She just needed a ride to NA. NA stands for Narcotics Anonymous, for those of you wondering what NA stands for. I don't really know what's so anonymous about it. I suppose if she wears a long sleeve shirt, Sometimes I meet these women who are beautiful, they seem fun, we have great conversations and have so much in common. I'm like, she's the one. I picture us holding hands, braiding our hair, and running through a field of sunflowers holding hands. Then I invite her over to hang out. We watch some Netflix, and oh my God, WTF just happened. I led her on. It turns out if you invite another woman over that you just met at the bar to Netflix and chill, you can expect neither. I really thought we were just going to have a pajama party and maybe a little wine or tea, but there she is, naked on my couch. But I really liked her, so I'm kind of torn. Like, what do I do in this situation? Rather than saying something like a normal person, I said, "Can I get you a blanket? Is it just me, or does it seem a bit nipply in here?" Sure, she said awkwardly. Then I bring a blanket in, we watch a movie, very awkwardly in silence. Should I get dressed? Hey, mi casa es su casa. Whatever feels comfortable for you, I guess. I'm pretty apathetic about things like pick your battles. On the bright side, awkward silence is better than listening to your friend complain about her husband. Or is it? There goes my other leg. Why is it so hard to make friends, you know? Do I smell like I'm desperate? Why don't they want to get to know me? Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe it's not. Why don't they want to get to know me? Maybe they don't want me to get to know them. Maybe they have a dirty secret. Maybe they are the reason all the neighborhood cats keep going missing. Maybe they're a total psycho. Like, waving their hand in a pretend stabbing motion, and need to keep a distance to maintain the appearance of a normal life. Maybe I watch too many crime documentaries. Maybe my childhood trauma is showing. Us millennials love talking about childhood trauma. Anyways, one of these pretty little church ladies with the red icon might be a statistic. Who is the craziest person you've ever met? Like, I feel like I can top that. I've met some pretty crazy people. I mean, I used to work on a psych ward, except we couldn't say crazy. We had to use a lot more adjectives like mental health behaviors requiring de-escalation interventions with verbal and chemical restraints. Yet for some reason, I felt like I could relate with the patients more than my coworkers. One time, my coworker said, "On the weekend, my kids and I went to the beach. It was sunny, and Dan from HR brought watermelon." Zzz. Well, the psych patient was like, "Last weekend, I saw this cat, and it started talking to me and told me to follow it. Then the next thing you know, I was in a forest, and fairies were dancing. A tall elf was playing music on a tree branch, and this fairy gave me a sparkling cupcake and told me to eat it. Then some guy walking by wasn't minding his own business and scared away the fairies, and no one believed me. Now I'm in a psych ward, and they won't even pack my cupcake in the ambulance. Such BS. Then suddenly, I'm recalling dancing on the tables at 2 a.m. with my impulsive girlfriend. Oh, yeah, I think I was there. I saw you last weekend. I wish someone brought me a fairy cupcake." Do you believe me? No, but I'll pretend to because it sounds nicer than here. I appreciate your honesty. Most people won't even look me in the eyes. It's not their fault. They can't see all my eyes. I have like 5, and only elves can see them. Hey, next time, do you want to come with me? It's really hard making new friends. Am I crazy? I felt the same as a psych patient. Maybe that's why no one wants to be my friend. Well, I'm not magical fairy cupcake and talking cat crazy, but there is a scale, and I'm probably somewhere in the middle. The scale goes like this: girls that think they're crazy and are actually really boring, but they wore a new color socks today. Then there is occasional silly crazy. Then there is the sarcastic ones, the creative ones, and once you reach a certain level of creative, it just kind of tapers into the talking cat magical fairy cupcake crazy from there. Birds of a feather flock together is the old saying. I am surrounded by crazy women, which makes me question, is this my flock? Am I part of the flock? I don't have a therapist though. And if you don't have a therapist, then I'm not crazy. And I'm not crazy because I don't need a therapist. You know who does need a therapist? Angela. Angela's crazy. Angela needs a therapist. Who's Angela? Well, Angela was this woman from my church who babysat me as a child. She had blonde hair, blue eyes. She seemed pretty and perfect. Her family lived in a beautiful house in the nicest neighborhood, and they obviously had money. When I was a kid, she would leave me alone in her cold garage and make me drink from the hose because she wouldn't give me any food or water. Sometimes her creepy brother would come in wearing a very short housecoat, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't wearing anything underneath it. And I'm pretty sure he was also the reason the neighborhood cats went missing. Oh my God. Did I overshare again? Sometimes I do that. Not because I'm crazy, because I'm not. Well, maybe a little bit, but are we all a little crazy? Childhood trauma. I mean, I'm not like wedding crasher pranks on April Fool's Day crazy, but I've definitely thought about it. Could you imagine if I just showed up at a random wedding when the commissioner says, "Speak now or forever hold your peace"? Then I barge into someone's wedding. My mascara is running. I look a mess in a white dress. The whole time he's denying he knows me. "Why are you saying this? You said we're meant to be together." Then he's like, "I don't know this woman. I've never seen her in my life." Then I bring in my kid, and my kid's like playing along. "Daddy, why are you lying? Don't you love us anymore?" But the whole time the bride is in on it. Then the wedding goes on and everyone thinks she married a loser, and she waits for family to start blurting out how they really feel about him, and then later on announces it was just a April Fool's Day joke. Yeah, I could help I could help so many therapists get new clients that day. Yeah, no, I would never do that. You can trust me. So, anyone getting married? When's your wedding? Ever have someone wrong you and you swore you would never talk to them or hang out with them again, but then it was like too hard to make new friends, so you just settle back into the same routine and pretend the huge blow up never happened? Making new friends is too hard. Forget it. I'll keep my friends with toxic and unhealthy boundaries. It's way easier this way. Although it is also kind of awkward place to be in when you're trying to decide if you want to keep a relationship or end it. You start to pull away emotionally, but you still see them. Wouldn't it just be easier if you could just send a friend breakup text? I think ghosting people is rude. I think we should tell people why we are ghosting them. "I've met someone else. It's over. I'm breaking up with you." Then text her a picture of you and your new best friend running through a field of sunflowers together. How do you get rid of a friend you don't enjoy? I'm in a close small community where everyone knows everyone, so we just have to get along. Some people choose to spend less and less time with someone and make numerous excuses until the person just drops them as a friend. If you really want to ghost someone, you could always move away and leave no forward address and not tell anyone where you are. Change your name, move to Mexico, hook up with some guy named Juan. One time I was insecure and told my friend she can't come over if I'm not home because she can't hang out with my husband if I'm not there. She was really offended and thought I called her a whore. I didn't. I had to clarify, which I think I did really well because I said, "if the shoe fits." I mean, I was a total cow and I made it forever awkward, and she felt like she had to wait outside if I was going to be even 5 minutes until I got home. But rather than dumping me, which worked out to my benefit because I really like her and I really liked listening to her complain about her husband. I mean, we really could hold hands and run through an Instagram field of sunflowers together with matching braids in our hair. Inspirational quotes would be floating in the air. Besties for the resties of our lives. I'm so glad that she has toxic and unhealthy boundaries too, so she could let me back into her life. I have met a lot of crazy women in my life. Some of you are thinking, all women are crazy. But remember the scale. I explained there are levels. There are the ones who are fun crazy, the ones who are emotional vampire crazy, and the psychopath Angela type crazy. One time I made a new friend and she tried to push me down the stairs and yelled, "I hope you break your Barbie doll neck." It was because she liked this guy that didn't have a job and told her he thinks I'm hot. So she thought rather than moving on, the appropriate action would be to push me down the stairs. Makes you kind of hesitant to make new friends, just saying. Oh my God, so what is the craziest thing you've ever done? This question reminds me of that horrible dating show in the 90s where all the participants had a lot of red flags. I feel like I'm not that crazy. I mean, the craziest thing I ever did was steal a block of cheese, and I felt so guilty I couldn't even eat it. Well, I mean, I did eat it, but like I felt guilty and I cried the whole time. Why does guilt taste so good? Some people are crazy because someone made them that way. What drives you crazy? There are a few very common things most of us can relate to. I'll give you some examples and you can just nod yes or no if any of these drive you nuts. The toilet seat left up. People walking past garbage on the floor not picking it up. Laundry on the floor beside the basket. Boundaries being crossed. Women who look at our men. Dishes placed in the wrong cupboard. Your husband eating fast food when you just made dinner. People canceling after you spent all day cooking for a party or canceling last minute. Cleaning up after everyone else. The milk being left out. Shoes on the seat in the car. Telling her that your baby is the cutest baby in the room. People who are never on time. Being a woman is pretty awesome, but sometimes it can be so dang hard. Like, oh my god, it's so hard having someone pay my bills for me, giving me sex anytime I want, even if I look like trash. And it's so hard having to take a year off work to get out of going to war if I just pop out a baby. It's so hard when people trust me with their children or help us on the side of the road. It just feels like a lot of pressure. And like it's so hard when someone lifts something heavy for me, like, oh my god, no, stop. I really wanted to carry that heavy tire and get my white outfit dirty. Also, if I want to join the army, it's like so hard being held to a lower standard for physical testing. We don't have to do as many push ups as men to join the army. People buy us things like beer. Those expenses can really add up for us. The law sees us as a weaker species and takes pity on us, giving us lesser sentences and custody of our kids. I think the hardest part about being a woman, though, seriously, is all the holidays are about us. Men have it so easy. I mean, they never have to worry about what to do with all those presents. They get it bridal showers, engagement showers, Valentine's Day, and like every other holiday. And Lord forbid we don't get an education. It's so hard knowing that there's always some man out there that will look after us. Also, female prisons are probably nicer because females have the responsibility of making it nicer, and that's a lot of pressure. I can see it now. The women in prison taking their toilet paper, folding it into little origami paper roses, decorating the bars, making an Instagram backdrop so it looks like they're holding hands and running through a field of toilet paper flowers together. All jokes aside, it's pretty awesome being a woman. Well, sometimes. I mean, we all have those days, you know? When you're at the supermarket and your kid's having a tantrum, just screaming their little head off, I want the purple jello! Everyone walking by is judging you because, you know, parenting doesn't take two parents. The mother is, for some reason, the only one to blame for everything. Men can do nothing wrong in my community's eyes. Then some young 20-year-old girl walks by and says, when I have kids, I'm never going to let them act like that in public. Thanks, Karen. As if I chose my kid to have a meltdown over Jello. It's funny how people are so judgmental. The same thing happened one time over a grapefruit, but my husband said in a stern voice as our kid had a tantrum, put that back. And the woman walking by said, oh my God, what a good dad. It's so nice to see dads involved. Wow, that's all we needed for him to be a good parent, to just not have left me for a 20-year-old? Oh my, well, I guess we should have just given him an award. I can see it now. Father of the Year didn't leave his pregnant wife and chose to stay and help raise the child and said no when touched a grapefruit in the supermarket. I'm not sure if that will fit on the trophy. Might have to custom order it. Then the same woman give me a dirty look and make a rude comment at me when my child reached for something else. I don't know why women don't just stay home with their kids. Anyways, as a mom, with all these added pressures in the community, time restraints and responsibilities, it can be a challenge to get out and meet new people. The grocery store is apparently not the place to make new friends unless you're a judgmental prick, then it's your sanctuary. There are many types of female social circles, and when you look for a new friend, you have to decide which circle you want to be in. Then, you know, You also have to keep your children alive until the end of each day, and you want to make sure that the friends you meet aren't baby snatchers or Angelas. But honestly, there is probably less people out there that want to steal your children than we think. Most people are thinking, do I want to give up my freedom? Why won't this kid stop crying over Jello? Would I be able to find a babysitter? So if my brain was a computer, it would be like analyze risk assessment every time I meet a new person. When you go on play dates and meet new people, there's only a few ways that the scenario will play out. 1, you like the parent, but the kids want to gladiator each other. 2, the kids get along, but you can't stand the parent. 3, you get the trashy parents that trick you into providing free daycare while they take off for hours, and you question if they're ever coming back. The kid's looking out the window. When's mommy coming home? Never, kid. You belong to us now. Kid starts crying. Number 4 is the perfect scenario. Everyone gets along, everyone's nice, and we all hold hands and run through a field of sunflowers together. My kid can be a bully sometimes, beating the other kids up. I'm telling him not to, but I'm also kind of low-key proud of his strength. Like, damn, kid, where'd you learn that move? No, try not to laugh. Don't encourage him. Millennial parenting is so weird because we have so much childhood trauma that we're always wanting to talk about. I mean, avoid causing and trying to rationalize with a child and validate him without putting him down and damaging his inner child. The things you say now will be the child's inner voice and voice later in life. It's a lot of pressure, especially when you really don't know what to say. And you're not allowed to beat your kids in public anymore, so you have to be all calm. Now, Billy, it's not nice to toss your friend to the ground, sit on him, hyperextend his arm backwards, but I want to validate your strength and critical thinking skills in implementing that move. Now, I need you to look really sad, like I'm disciplining you, nod, and go back over there and play nice, or we won't be allowed to hang out with your friend anymore. Kid nods. Kids do and say all kinds of strange things, like, Mommy, how come I don't have any brothers and sisters? Is it because you swallowed the watermelon seeds and didn't poop them out your belly button? Yes, honey, but that's a conversation for another day when you're older. Some of you are asking what an inner child is. What's an inner voice? It's the voice we talk to ourselves with that tells us our worth, our confidence, or something like that. I don't know, because I'm not in therapy. They say that the way the mother, again, blaming the mother, it could be anyone, but let's blame the woman. The way she talks to her child becomes his or her inner voice later in life. So what does your inner voice tell you? Some of you are like, wow, this is really great news. Now I can hate my mother and blame her for my bad choices instead of myself. All of these mothers of grown children saying, I never called you a drunken hoe filled with regret. But Mom, my therapist said that my inner child's depressed because you didn't speak positive words into me as a child. Then all the moms are saying, maybe I would have spoken nicer to your inner child had they put the laundry in the basket instead of leaving it on the floor. Life is complex, which means it can be challenging. Sometimes it's nice to escape our lives a little bit. Everyone deals with stress and trauma differently. That whole fight or flight theory has some validity. Some fight through their circumstances by working hard. Others do drugs, make bad decisions, overspend, and overindulge and spoil themselves so they feel worthy and distract themselves from their self-loathing. I think a lot of people do like to escape reality or find distractions for their situations. For example, listening to a comedian talk about their problems really helps you forget about your own problems, and you can surround yourself with other people laughing so you feel less alone and convince yourself that you're not depressed and you don't need a therapist for the next 20 minutes. Some of you are looking at your partner who made you listen to me talking. I do enjoy my time alone. It makes me more productive. However, I also enjoy spending time with my friends, and every time I find a special friend that I like more than the other, they always end up moving away. I had this one friend that moved to the other side of the country. She was such a sweet woman. But I'm sure if I crossed her, her crazy scale would probably increase somewhere along the creative line. You don't want to mess with a creative person. They can creatively think of ways to mess with you. She told me She told me, sometimes when I'm mad at my husband, I fantasize about how I would decorate my apartment if I left him. We wouldn't argue about which furniture to get or what color to paint the walls. I said, oh yes, you could paint the walls pink and get a shag rug. Actually, I was thinking of getting an exotic, imported rug made of zebra fur. Aren't you vegan? Yeah, but my apartment isn't. When I think about leaving my husband, I think, what would I do for work? Could I afford to leave him? When was the last time I ate? Am I just hungry? What time of the month is it? So I could fantasize too, though. Maybe I would find some Latino sugar daddy and move to a beach house in Mexico, change my name, start a new life. I'd probably miss my kid too much, though, but damn, a beach house is pretty tempting. Quan, my imaginary sugar daddy, says, baby, I'm waiting for you. I drew you a bath and made you churros. Ever fantasize about something and it never turns out how you planned? Fantasy and reality are so different, aren't they? Who here has actually run through a field of sunflowers? Is it really like how Instagram makes it look? Or are you out of breath, tripping on a marmot hole, rolling your ankle, and spending the rest of the afternoon with a bag of ice on your elevated leg? So, Fantasy Quan is all romantic, makes you churros, draws you baths, but in real life, I get to Mexico, he's like 5'2", balding, out of shape, works 6 days a week, his ex is still living in the house. I'm trying to enjoy my bath, but Quan's mom keeps coming into the room. Everyone's drunk all the time, and I'm thinking, it's not even the weekend. What's wrong with these people? My husband tracks me down, drops the kid off in Mexico, takes off to enjoy the vacation with some 20-year-old girl he met in the grocery store that apparently knows more about parenting than me. Now I have to watch my kid in Mexico. Little Johnny keeps trying to play street hockey, and I keep having to protect him from being abducted from the cartel every 10 minutes. I just go outside, hold up a purple jello in the air, then they watch him have a tantrum and they drive away like, forget this. That's right. Enjoy your freedom while you can, Pedro. Then it's time for little Johnny to go home with his dad, and he says, Mommy, I want to stay here with the pinata smashers. I'm like, what, pinata smashers? I couldn't pronounce their names, little Johnny says. Quan says, it's okay, baby. He can stay with us. It's almost farming season and we could use more helpers in the hothouse. Oh, thank you, Quan. That's so nice to offer. It's no problem. You can thank me later. There's a special churro, a big one, with your name on it, if you know what I mean. I try not to cringe. Quan's like only very average looking and not that rich. Most women know there is a secret scale that we use to decide how we select our mate. It goes like this: attractiveness and wealth, and how desperate we are, but we don't talk about that. The less attractive he is, the wealthier he needs to be. So Quan is somewhere in the middle scale in reality. But you know what? Sometimes I overthink my fantasies. Quan is my fantasy, damn it. And he can be whatever I want. Okay? Quan is rich, handsome. So take the trash out, damn it. Or I'm leaving you for fictional Quan. Soy Baracha! We're going on an adventure!